Keep walking.
What?
I want you to walk that way.
Welcome to On the Record by Big Nick. Today I've got two of some of the most important, special people that I will ever interview. Big news. There's only like two other people that I can think of, possibly three, but that doesn't count the ostrich. Let me be clear.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, fuck you, buddy. Anyway, let's get back to the show. These two people have had a big influence in my life. One a little bit more than the other, as I'll explain in a minute. But the three, I call ourselves the three veterans here, because we've been here since the very beginning. When Lumberlend was in a tiny little hut, I call it, tiny little hut. Shout out to Dad. Thanks for letting us use the garage. And now here we are now. So I'd like to introduce to you my older brother, the owner of the company, the CEO of Lumberlend, AJ Nikowski.
What's up, Big Nick?
AJ, what's going on, buddy? How you doing?
Give me some.
And the other one, he's a dear friend of mine. We go way back, exactly 4 years. Long time. Time goes by quick. But I'll tell you something. He might have been in my life short-term wise, but I'll tell you one thing. He's as good as a friend you can ever find. And not only that, he's family. Without further ado, the other man that I'm going to introduce is none other than DJ Trill Will.
Couldn't have said it better anything myself.
Thank you for having me.
No problem. Let's do this. For me to talk to him, we're going to talk a little bit about how we all met, how Lumberlend grew.
How did we meet?
Well, that's what I'm going to ask you. So I'm going to ask them a couple questions.
He was there first.
So on and so forth, and we're going to go from there.
Thanks for having us.
Happy to be here.
All right. Lumberlend. I'll let my brother talk a little bit more about the story about it, because it's his baby, it's his puppy. And I'll let him describe how it first started, how he got DJ Trill involved, and then obviously how he got Big Nick involved. Two of the best free agent signings he ever had was uno, dos. 1-1A, 1-1A. Doesn't make a difference. What is Lumberlend? How did you come up with the idea, and what inspired you to go out and go for it and create your own company?
So the idea started down when I was in college, my last semester. It was a conversation I had with a friend about turning a baseball bat, the end of it, into a mug. And so that's how it started. We started it kind of as just a project to try to see if we could create one prototype or one usable mug, and then ended up trickling into something that we tried selling on the internet. And now we're here.
Wow, there you go.
You got the original prototypes right
The
there.
original.
This is the original prototype.
Boom.
See that? That's the
base
original.
there.
Now I guess this is the other question I'm going to ask you, AJ. So when you were going out there and you were putting the pieces together, and obviously you need a recruit to make your team happen.
Is this how you're getting to you and DJ Trill?
That's how we're going to get to DJ Trill. Yep.
Nice little segue.
Nice segue.
That was pretty nice.
Yeah, I like
You
that.
see
Almost
that?
like you have your own show.
It's almost like I know what the fuck I'm doing around here. How did you even meet DJ Trill, and how did that even start? Refuse.
So there's a good friend I had at Eckerd where I went to school, and his best friend is DJ Trill. Basically what happened is when I brought the business back up here, I wanted some help with social media because I know I wanted to make the product, fulfill the product, but I needed help with content and posting and creating ads for social, and that's where Will stepped in, because Abe's had told me that he had some experience with being on social media and creating content, and I've seen a couple of the videos that Will actually created for Abe's back in college, and so we just started a conversation.
Had to mention the name Apes.
Will helped me out. Will actually saw the garage when it was actually complete storage, and then we took all the storage out, and then we put all the insulation in the walls, and we sheetrocked it. And it was actually the first run-of-the-mill Lumberland with one engraver trying to get one order out.
That's where it starts. Yeah. One order at a time. That's all it starts. Every single month. One order at a time.
I remember before we even went to the garage, we had a lot of days in the office, aka your bedroom.
Shout out to my desk.
I had the whiteboards going. You lent me your desk to use the computer. And I remember like a lot of discussions just about how we wanted to bring it to market in terms of pricing. But I think we were like sampling stains and stuff. I remember the American walnut with yellow oxide.
Oh, yeah. Those are the days.
I was working on like the early phases of the website, and then we had a conversation about what I was doing, because I mean at that time I was still kind of working for an internship I had during and after college for the city of Worcester Tech Services. Shout out to my people back there. I don't forget where I came from. I actually accepted a job for a financial firm. Did you know this?
I did know this. I
Yeah,
think
so
you told me this a little bit later on. But
Yeah.
I think you told me.
And I remember calling AJ like a day or two before I was supposed to start at that job. The just job description is you got to be on the phone for 82% of the day. I was like, that's not me. You know?
That's
like,
definitely not DJ Troll, let me tell you.
But the advice he gave me was you shouldn't. And like the money was good, and it was like a good paying job right out of college, so I was like tempted by that. But his advice was like, you can't do that because you're just going to be miserable. Like, we can work, we can figure it out. Like, we'll figure something out. I think we met the next day. I called the lady and said, I'm not taking the job. So that's one of the best decisions I've ever made for sure.
You know, it was interesting because it was somewhat of a deep conversation. I don't really think I had that deep a rapport with you before that, right?
No.
So it was a pretty deep conversation. I feel like we chatted pretty much at length about it. I don't think I more wanted like you to do what you thought would have been the best interest, but I think I was probably pretty confident at that time that like this was just such a good opportunity to actually see what it could be. You know, I wish I had that tape to kind of recall it, but there was so much learning involved and so much brick by brick by brick in order to get it to where it is today. And I think if we both had a crystal ball and look in the future, I don't think we could have foreseen us being where we are right now. But it was just there was so much learning, there was so much experience to be had, there was so much new, and it was so fun because days would fly by, but days would fly by because you were so into what you were doing. And
Obviously, Will was on board. They did their thing. And at the time, I didn't work for AJ on payroll yet. A couple months go by, and I get this phone call from my dad. Our dad, excuse me. And he goes, I think AJ wants to talk to you. I go, what the fuck does he want to talk to me about? He goes, I think he wants to hire you. I go, why the fuck isn't he calling me? So...
Did you say that, or did you think you said that?
No, I think I said it. I don't know. It was 4 years ago, a long time ago.
All right.
So I said, all right, what the fuck does he want? So I actually left my job that I was at, which I fucking hated. Fucking sucks. Will not mention the name, but I fucking hated it. I go up to AJ and I go, AJ, what's up with this, I get a call from Dad saying, you're thinking about hiring me. He goes, yeah, well, I've been thinking about this, and I'll let AJ kind of go into that part. But I was just confused, because it's like, why wouldn't he call me? But AJ, why don't you elaborate on how that went down, please?
Well, I knew I needed help. October was when sales really started to pick up. We had one larger order for like 100 units, which was a lot at the time for what we were handling. Knew I needed help with production, and so I called my dad, I think kind of as like a buffer to let him know that I needed to hire somebody. So whether it was Nick or somebody else, I needed help. I needed labor help.
I went to see AJ, and he was upstairs working. I go, AJ, what's up? And he pretty much told me, you got to tell me right now. You in or you out? And I told him, I said, I'm in.
You were a little hesitant.
I was a little hesitant because, here's the thing. He threw this on me, and I was like, AJ, I love you to death. We've been brothers before Lumberlend. We'll be brothers after Lumberlend. We'll be brothers, right? That's how that works in life, right? So AJ and I have been very close even before Lumberlend. We used to go out on the fields and stuff together. That's another discussion for another time. But I was a little hesitant. I won't lie, because it was like, I got a full-time job. I don't know what I do it, but I fucking hated my job. I fucking hated it. I hated the people I worked with. They were miserable. I fucking hate it. If you guys are listening, fuck you. I don't give a shit. And AJ and I talked, and I told AJ, I said, all right, let me start in 2 weeks. I felt like I was at this other place for a while. I didn't want to just drop the ball on him. And AJ's like, Nick, I love you, but I need you to start now. I was like, okay, fair enough. So I just said, fuck it. So I called up the guy. I actually kind of bush leagued it. I actually told the guy, I got a couple days. I'm fielding another job offer. He's like, all right, well, let me know by Saturday what you're thinking. And I mean, my decision was made on Wednesday.
Walked in the door, said, I'm here. What do I do?
What do I do? And here we go. I was about a couple months after Will was in the picture.
Well, I remember during those few months, like we would be in the garage and you'd get home from work
And I'd be
and
upstairs.
you would just be miserable from
yeah.
that other job.
Oh, yeah. Miserable.
You just hated it.
Fucking
You'd
hated
get
it.
home after a long day and you'd just be in a bad mood.
I just hated the fucking job. Hated it. Sucked. I worked so hard. Had no appreciation. Been there forever. I mean, fuck that. I had to listen to old men fucking deal with having them talk about cholesterol and shit. I'm like, I'm 4 years old. I don't want to listen about no fucking cholesterol. And this is the thing I want to make loud and clear. As the years have went on, we started hiring another guy and then another guy. And then later on, we started hiring more people and there'd be some people coming in, coming out. And we appreciate all you that have stepped through the doors of Lumberlend. If it was in Concord, Acton, or Westford. But I'm giving a personal shout out to the 3 men that are standing behind this table. Because no matter what, people come, people go. People either decide they want to move on and do something else, or AJ said, this ain't working out, sayonara. One thing has stayed the same. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. See, I went to myself last.
I like that.
We're very happy that Ostrich is working here now, but Ostrich has a long way to go to earn the vet fucking sticker. He's working on it. He's getting there. Now we're down the road now, and then at the time there was 5 people full-time in Concord, and then you were at that time that was like, you know what, it might be time to move out of the house because you need more space. So why don't you kind of elaborate on that a little bit?
It was time to move out of the garage when we had so many mugs on tables and people sitting in chairs to where you had to step over chairs, ask people to move, or you had to go under tables to get from one place to another. It was just too crowded. It was 4 engravers, bunch of tables, bunch of mugs on tables.
Boxes.
Boxes. Yeah, people had no room, and that's when it was time. When we physically
Tone and Will were in the corner. You guys were breathing on each other, on top of each other.
So then we looked for a place that we initially were at. We had a little bit of troubles at that place with the landlord. So then after a couple months, we found this place.
Fuck you, beep.
And we love it here. Perfect space for us. Super happy. And plenty big enough, too.
I remember some of those first places we looked at were small.
Some of those places. And I'll tell you one thing. If we stayed in Akron, we would have been fucked. Even if it worked out. Like, even if the landlords and everything, the property managers or whatever were fine, I think we would have been fucked over there. There's no way we would have had the gym that we had in there, plus all the freaking space.
Yeah,
no shot.
It's kind of a tough configuration.
And then you, Tolan, and were in that house. Not that house, the little room over there. And it felt like you were in, like, the next town.
It was hot as hell in that room.
Oh, my word.
Oh, my God.
It was hot as
We
shit.
didn't have AC.
It was hot as shit in that freaking building. And when Carter had all those engravers going, and I'm literally sitting right in front of that door, and all I hear is boom all day long, just like I do now. But at least it's a little different. At least it's over there. But, like, literally, I was right on top of these engravers.
It's the way it echoed at the last place.
Yeah. But, and then we came here. We've been here for 2 years now, 2+ years now, and counting. And we ain't going anywhere. Only if he decides he wants to go somewhere else. But that's up to him. We'll go from there. Wouldn't be the first time we've moved Lumberlend. Maybe it will be the last time. Who the fuck knows? We can't predict the future. But I can tell you one thing. No matter what, we've established something great here. And we ain't going nowhere. So obviously when you first got started, like anything else, you probably had your thoughts about, is this going to work? Is this not going to work? So on and so on. When was it like you said, I'm going for it, I'm all in, I'm completely committed to Lumberlend?
I remember Abe's telling me the idea about the bat mug before I'd ever seen one. At that time, it didn't exist in my mind. So there was obviously some skepticism there. And then when I, saw the prototypes, I was like, okay, this is cool. Like, I could see this. It's kind of a novelty. I didn't necessarily know the functionality of it, if people would use it, but me holding it, I was like, this is cool. Still had no expectations for the market or what they would be used for necessarily. We kind of saw that traction as we did it. So I was in because obviously didn't want to do that customer service job for the financials. I was interested in marketing. I was interested in social media, creating videos. So that's kind of what I did. It wasn't necessarily about the product at first. it was just doing something I liked and learned in college. But then, I mean, once I started putting those feet forward, saw the traction and response to the product, I think that's when my drive not only escalated, but my love for the business really began.
So I guess the last couple questions I'm going to ask each one of them just real quick before we end that show. Because I could sit here and talk to them for hours and hours and hours, but I respect both their times and I respect my time. How do you feel about Lumberlend today? Not 6 months from now. You know, how do you feel about it today, and how do you feel like reflecting back on, you know, having that one mug up there and getting one mug and leaving it by the side of the road and having the post office come to pick it up at the house. And now we have a tractor trailer truck that comes every day to pick everything up, and just not even just that, but just everything. Just, you know, you go from like 400 square feet to 4,000 square feet. You go from having 2 employees to having upwards of almost 15 full-timers. Like, reflecting back on it, like, how do you feel like you've done so far with this?
I feel great about it. I feel great about understanding who I am and enjoying each and every day. I work every day because I like to work every day. I like the company that's here. I like the people that are here. That's you. You're one of them. I love the experience that I've been able to gain over that period of time. It's been a blur, but it's just been so much fun. I wouldn't change any of it. The ups, the downs. I've just enjoyed every bit of building it up, having it fall, build it back. Just been a very, very fun process that has taught me a lot about myself and how to interact with people and how to empathize with people that are in the company. And overall, I couldn't have imagined a better experience over the past 4.5 years.
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question.
Definitely been a blur. Can 100% relate to that. And my drive to just be better at what I'm doing has grown exponentially since 4 years ago, over 4 years ago, which makes it more fun. If you want to continually get better at something and you're putting the time in and day out, you know, you're trying to get better, be better at your craft. Does not feel like work. It may sound cliche. I know a lot of people say that, but it truly doesn't. So we're still
here.
Yeah, we still stayed on track.
And what did I say to you, Will, when this fucking fuck you coronavirus suck ass motherfucker came to town?
I think you said, world. We ain't fucking leaving.
We ain't fucking leaving. You ain't taking Lumberlend, you ain't taking us. We're still here. I got one last question for both of them. How do you guys think you have grown as young men through Lumberlend since the time you started to the time now, either it be relationships, be how you have developed yourself as a person? Have you thought you've built different traits over the years that have strengthened you? Things that you've learned about yourself that, you know, maybe I got to work more on this, X, Y, and Z. For all you who don't know, this guy over here, a lot has changed. Shout out to him. He's getting married in about 3+ weeks.
Best man.
Best man.
That's you.
Groomsman. Plus some.
You want to go first of all?
Yeah, definitely growing physically. I'm not eating 4 for $4 Wendy's every day anymore.
I'm glad he mentioned that. I just want to let the viewers know something, okay? This motherfucker has come a long way. He used to roll up the Concord, and he used to eat 4 for $4 Wendy's or 2 for $4 fish at McDonald's.
Filet of fish during Lent.
Filet of fish.
Yeah, so there's that.
You did.
The work process has definitely helped me grow individually. Working day in and day out, I think, helps you get better at certain things along the way. Organization, time management, just not getting distracted. I think I've certainly come a long way in all those areas. Since the beginning, I have entered a relationship for 3 years now.
Shout out to Lee.
Shout out to Lee. She's great.
Shout out to Lee.
But I think that has helped me as well. Just become more considerate of others. Also, time management, I think that kind of goes hand in hand with that. Gotten a lot more focused on what I'm doing daily and hoping that continues. I'm sure it will with what we're doing.
Floor is yours.
I think for me, I think there's similar things that I can relate to with Will. I think couple things that stand out for me is work ethic. I think I always took pride in being able to work super hard. Growing up, that was something that was bestowed upon us from our father because he worked super hard. I think the business pushed me way harder than I could have ever expected. Way more longer nights, early mornings, all-nighters, banging my head against the wall, trying to figure things out, feeling super stressed, and just having to constantly work through it. So I think the business taught me how hard I can actually push myself. It also let me know the boundary of where's too far, when I need to pull back, what I need to do when I pull back to kind of get refreshed. I've grown a lot from just interacting with people. I have meetings with people, and I think in the beginning I could see things a lot through just my lens, and now I'm a lot better at being able to put myself in other people's shoes, which I think is highly important, because when you want to get the most out of your employees, or when you want to make them happy or have them fulfilled, you have to understand how they think, not how you think. You have to understand how they're seeing things in order to be able to help them with things that matter to them. Because working super hard might matter to you, but it might not mean the same to them. They might be more interested in getting out at a certain time, or they might be more interested in doing something else. So I think I learned a lot about people and how to listen. I don't know if manage is the right word. Maybe to be politically correct, manage is the right word. But I think when you build something, for me, you need people. And when you need people, you have to invest in people. And so that's not only paying them, but that's also caring about what's going on with them so that you can help them be happy and fulfilled. Because I think the last thing that I've really learned is money is important. You need it to buy things if you have something specific that you want to buy. But being happy, being fulfilled internally, like with yourself and what you're doing, has brought in myself a lot more satisfaction than just being driven by what I make, how much I make. So I think Lumberlend has really been a labor of love, and how it's gotten to this point is great. I've grown a lot exponentially through all those ways I just mentioned.
Oh, that sounds great, guys. So like I said, I could sit here and talk to these guys for hours and hours, but I think I nailed it on this one. I really appreciate Will and AJ for taking time to be on the show. Hope you guys have a better understanding of what Lumberland is, but better yet, what drives the train, what drives Lumberland.
Amen.
Fuck you, Casey. Thank you very much.
It was a lot of fun.
Thank you, AJ.
Maybe we'll see you on the record again.
I love you too, big thanks.
Thank you for listening on the podcast. Like, subscribe, put in your comments. What do you guys want to talk about next? Let us know. And like I said, maybe, just maybe, you'll have an interview with Big Nick someday. That's a wrap.